You are now listening to the Strong Opinions Podcast.
Here we are. Welcome to the Strong Opinions Podcast. I know you haven't heard my voice in a minute, but I am back. I'm Charles Andrews, and we have, you know who he is, Dr. Carlos Wallace. I call him doctor because that's what a doctor does, tells you the symptoms and it gives you the cure. It treats you. And, trust me, I've seen the man treat a lot of people. I've seen him help a lot of folks out. Folks who really, to be honest with you, without their help, Doc, without your help, I don't think they'd be where they are right now.
Hey, man, sometimes the leg is broken and it starts to heal, so you have to re-break it and set it properly. So they don't, it's painful though.
It is.
They don't like it.
Now, we don't mind on this podcast that you disagree. You can have because of strong opinions, but we don't really get into some disrespect because, you know, we got to respect each other.
Right.
But there's been some questions since we've done the last one.
Yeah.
Since the last time you and I spoke.
Right.
You know, you've had one with Felicia.
Yeah.
Felicia Lee Sexton.
Yeah.
Which is a very good podcast, by the way. You know, if you get the opportunity, you need to go ahead and listen to that one as well. And then there's the one that we did at the beginning. So this is our third in the installment of the first season. We're gonna call this the summer season. Summer season. Some of this, some of that. We want to talk about. I've been listening to a lot of other podcasts. I'm just gonna be just the truth of doing my research, doing my due diligence, and I know you have as well. And some of the recurring themes that I'm hearing is really people just jabbering about nothing.
Yeah.
Just having a whole conversation about absolutely nothing. And that doesn't, for a good podcast, make. And they get their big whoopie-doo out of having a notable guest. They'll talk for an hour, but they'll talk for another hour without them. So I think if you're going to do something, you're going to have to do that and do it with a purpose. And my purpose today is to ask you, Dr. Wallace, to ask me what it's like working for you.
Well, I want to first say that's a good question because after the last episode with Felicia, we received a lot of questions about working with me or working with Soul. I guess before that, people thought I did all this stuff by myself. No. There's a whole Soul team.
You mean there's no magic wand in the backseat?
No, man. It's a whole lot of Soul people that hold me up. You being one of them. So I'm glad we had her on, and it gave me the inspiration and the idea we're gonna have all the Soul people on before it's over because I like to of course advance the agendas and brag on my people and what they're doing, and so that I'm glad we had the opportunity to do that. So yes, I do work with a lot of people with Soul.
Most people don't notice though.
Right, and I don't know why. I don't know.
I mean, I go to the comedy shows, to the poetry shows, and the whole audience daggone has life shirts on, and all the staff have soul poetry and life.
Yeah, I didn't do all that alone. I mean, come on. I don't know why people think I do it all by myself. But
why don't people follow you in that? You know, if I see something working for somebody,
I don't want to get into that. We talked about that.
Well, come on, man.
No, we talked about that.
Okay. All right, I see how it's gonna be.
But
I ain't got no problem ruffling feathers.
But let me get on your question. So to your question, what is it like working with me? Like, I guess it depends on who you talk to. You know, some people really enjoy it, and some people say it's a nightmare. And the funny thing is for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
With me, you know exactly what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like an egg. You're either gonna get the shell, the yolk, or the gooey stuff.
You know what you're gonna get.
You're gonna get something. You're gonna get. It's like there's no like I never expected that.
No. I'm pretty much, you know. If you've ever been to a restaurant with me, you pretty much know what I'm gonna order.
Yes, sir.
You know
that I do know.
You know what I'm gonna drink. You know what type of movies I like if you spend any amount of time around me.
Right.
You know, because I'm pretty much set in my ways.
Is that set in your ways, or is that content with the way things are rolling?
No, I'm not really content because it took 2 years, but you finally talked me into doing this podcast.
Yeah, it did take a minute.
so I'm not. It's not really content. Like, I'm always willing to grow if I see a need and a purpose, a reason. But so it's not about being content, but I'm just pretty much set on how I do things.
I'm gonna tell you, man. If I would have known what I know about you when I first met you, I would not have even attempted to have a conversation with you.
But we wouldn't be where we are.
I know, but I personally would be so much more content right now in my niggerdom. Because that's exactly where I would be. I mean, because, you
But I wouldn't let you stay there.
You purge a lot of that out of people. Man.
Yeah, because I don't want you to reside in ignorance. You know what I mean? I want people to grow and educate and learn. So long after I'm gone, like the best part about a funeral is when people give their testimony about what that person taught them and what they left behind. Like, man, I'll never forget what this person gave me,
right?
And what they left with me, and that's something that'll live within you long after that person is gone.
Yeah.
So,
and that's sometimes when somebody else hears that, what they've done for you, it changes them. Right.
And so that's a mission that I'm reaching for daily. I like to touch people every day in those ways. You know what I mean? It's not just about forcing them to do any one thing. It's just except for to be a better person.
How do you see something in someone? Know that it's going to take some leverage, some push, and still know that it's going to take a little bit more than you have time for at the present.
Well, I mean, it's greatness in all of us. First of all, it's greatness in each and every one of us. It's just a matter of us finding that greatness, right? And knowing what to do with it when we do find it. When I worked for the prison.
Huh?
Yeah, when I was a prison guard.
Okay.
I saw some of the most talented guys. You would go in the craft shop where these guys would make things with their hands, hand make, you name it, like they could do it. And all I would think was, man, if you did that when you were in the free world, you could make so much money. And here they were, I see them hand make leather belts,
right?
And selling them for $2, $3. And this same belt at Neiman Marcus selling for $50,
right?
$75. And I'm like, dude, and the one at Neiman Marcus is probably not even real leather.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? And all I thought was, you're wasting away in this prison cell, handcrafting this leather belt, stitching a person's name on it, and literally giving it away for $5.
And what's so amazing is that you say you were as a security guard on death row in the prison system. Some people are out in the free world and still have a jail mentality.
Absolutely. Because even if you're in prison, your mind does not have to be in prison.
Yeah.
Your mind can still be free. Like, no one can ever lock your mind up. Only you can do that.
Yeah.
So always maintain a free mind regardless of whatever your physical state is.
What about those who have a desire or aspiration to get in contact with you? How, just be honest with me, man, because I know there are a lot of cats out there who trying to holler at Carlos about this, that, and the other thing. And
every day. Please don't do it at a show.
Right? Don't do it on a Wednesday.
No.
Never on. I don't care if you see him at the gas station on a Wednesday. Don't do it on a Wednesday.
Don't even do it. I won't even be at a gas station. But I hate when people come up to me at a show with an idea. Because I promise you, Thursday morning I will not remember.
We're back on the block doing what we do. I am Charles Andrews. This is introduce yourself, sir.
Carlos Wallace.
Everybody knows him. This man has got more accolades before and more letters before and after his name than the entire alphabet. A lot of people look at you and they want to suck your information out your head. They want everything you know I've seen it. I've seen people literally sit down and want to know everything you want to know. You won't tell it to them because you know they ain't gonna do it.
As you know, and I say it all the time, man, the number one thing I hate is wasting my time.
Right.
And I can already tell in a person how bad they want something,
right,
or their desire to achieve whatever goal it is they say they want to achieve.
Right.
And if they have not convinced me that they really want to achieve that goal, I'm not wasting my time.
Your top three. Give me your top three of those you've seen come to you, had an idea, a vision, a visionary, and they followed the information you gave them to the letter, and the outcome of that.
Top three, the
individuals that have come to you and said,
I don't want to put them out there like that.
Oh, come on,
I don't want to do that. Nah,
so you don't want? Oh man.
I mean, because I have my favorites.
Can I put them out there? My favorites. Mine, the one I like, are yours. Because there's some out there that have really.
Oh yeah, and I don't like to put them in order though, because there's a lot. Some they're categorized differently, not just about how many followers or how much money they make. Because
but you got some millionaires on your team.
I do, but there's some also that they're not millionaires, but they have reached greatness in other ways, and so it just depends on how you want to measure it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it's I don't like to do that because I have my favorites for different reasons.
I like to do it though. I don't. You know me. I'm the one. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of accolades out there that you've been given for good reason. And then there's a lot of people who say, well, why does he get to do that? Why does he get to sponsor this? Why did they give him a certificate?
Put in the work, man. Put in the work.
Work is rough, man. What makes you keep going? Because you got to sleep. Eventually.
When I die.
I mean, you got to sleep now because 7 days you're going to be delusional.
No, my grandfather used to say, I don't sleep. You just rest your eyes from time to time.
Okay, then. But I've seen you literally leave the Improv in Houston.
Right.
Jump on a plane.
Right.
Go to New York.
Right.
Do your thing in New York.
Right.
Jump on a plane. Go to Philly.
Right.
Leave Philly.
Right.
Come back to Dallas.
Right.
Do the Dallas thing, and then go back to Houston.
That's life. That's what it's about. Like you can't pray for that and then complain about it.
Right, that is true.
If it's what you pray for, honor it, respect it, and appreciate it when you get it. Just published yesterday was a Life is Not Complicated, the study guide that goes with my book. Some teachers in Atlanta that felt like the book was great for social justice. They wrote a curriculum for it, and it published yesterday. And I'm really proud of that. Like those are big accomplishments that aren't really measured by money.
Right. But
it's something that's going to be impactful for generations to come in students for a long time.
If you do not have either one of the books, I'm going to take a break for a second and let you hear where you can go get them. And then you may get the study guide along with it so that you can follow along and actually accomplish more than you've ever accomplished in your life. We'll be right back.
The biggest reward for me is how much it has inspired students.
I think something that really opened my eyes was when he said, everybody knows the information in this book already, it just takes a little bit of reminding. And that really opened my eyes to how I perceived the book from there on. So I really think it was overall positive impact on my life.
When I visit campuses and classrooms and see the excitement on their face and, of course, overwhelm me with questions, that's my biggest reward. That's what I enjoy the most.
To purchase Life is Not Complicated You Are or the other 99 times or download the audio versions, please visit carloswallace.com. You are now listening to the Strong Opinions Podcast.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. I'm Charles Andrews, Strong Opinions Podcast, summer session. Yeah, Life's Not Complicated You Are. The series, we've got a few more episodes for this summer season. Got I was gonna say professor, but it's actually What is it?
Just Carlos.
Just Carlos.
Just Carlos.
So we have Just Carlos. How about Just Carlos Wallace, 2-time best-selling author? How about Just Carlos, guest lecturer at Lone Star? How about Just Carlos, next gen Google?
We ain't got to do all that.
We ain't? Because I got about 20, 25 more of them if you want.
No.
I mean, this man got a book. You got a TV show in New York.
Hey.
A TV show in New York.
Well, it's on Amazon Videos now.
So it's everywhere.
Yeah. Shout out to Liz Fox.
Yeah, shout out to Liz. If you don't know who Liz is, look her up. Trust me. This woman is powerful. Powerful. In regard to that, in tandem with that statement, those around you, those you push towards greatness or push towards the greatness in them, do you celebrate? I know you celebrate their success, but do you celebrate their success in a way that, I'm just being real honest with you, that you're not getting the glory?
Well, the thing about it is,
because it's hard not to do, man.
No, it's like football. Like, to me, football is the best sport that compares to life, right? When a player scores the touchdown, of course, all the cameras are on that one player.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, the entire team scored the touchdown.
Right.
It took the proper block, or the right pass, the right handoff, and the right person calling the right play, all the way down to the towel boys that
right.
wash the uniforms. Like, everybody celebrates it. So that accomplishment is not just for that one individual. It's really the whole team, the whole organization.
Right.
That enjoys the success. But the cameras are just on that one person at that time. So it's not about me or that one person. It's really about the whole organization.
That whole organization. Let's go back to the organization. Let's go back to the organism, because I think an organism is the base root of an organization. We'll go into what is it? Is it Jefferson? What? Jacksonville?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's the big city of Jacksonville. Shout out to the big city of Jacksonville. Mom, your father, your grandfather, your brothers, sisters. What kind of legacy has been left in that city?
Well, my grandparents were from Palestine.
Oh, okay.
My mom was from Palestine also.
Oh, okay.
But she married my father, which he was from Jacksonville, so that's where I grew up. But with them collectively, I mean, just a high level and demand for excellence, with what they left behind, the things they accomplished. And again, it's not necessarily money or anything like that, but June the 22nd, this month, will be 20 years that my mother has been gone on to glory. And I don't care who you talk to in Jacksonville, Texas, about her, you will understand how the impact that she had on that community. That is what that's what I'm talking about. The same goes for my grandfather in Palestine.
He was a judge, right?
He was a judge.
Do you put a little bit in both of them and everything you do?
Everything I do, and they're on my mind with all of my decisions. With what would they do? How would they act?
Is that one of those things? Not like a WWJD, what would Jesus do? But what would Mama do? Or what would Grandpa do? Is that something is that like a secret? Meaning
no, it's not a secret, because I let anybody know. And it's not about what would they do, but I make the decisions as if they were watching.
So what my point is this. You got people out there who are making stupid decisions, but they've had intelligent people in their lives. Do you think it's kind of like a silly question, but should those people start looking at the people in their lives and saying, hey, I've made some stupid decisions, but my uncle, my auntie, my nephew, they've been pretty intelligent, so what would they do in this situation?
I think sometimes you become a product of who you're surrounded by. So they know what to do or how to do it, but sometimes you become influenced by the people that's around you. So you start to do the things that are really out of your character or separated from the way you were raised.
How you reel yourself back in?
You take a look in the mirror. You know right from wrong.
Yeah, you do.
But you don't always have to do what you think is popular or cool. Or you know right from wrong, and just do the right thing.
Well, that's easier said than done. Do the right thing. I mean, you got some pressures on you to. I'm just gonna be real. There's some pressures that are out there on you that are bigger than just doing the right thing.
Like what? Give me one.
You're in a situation where, hey, sometimes the baby got eaten, and you got a choice of do the right thing, which is, not slang that dope, or do the dumb thing and try to get that Nick sack sold, and you go get some pills or some Similac.
I just disagree. See, I was talking to a young man that had been to prison.
Yeah.
And he had gone to prison for robbery. And he was explaining that kind of the same situation, except it wasn't baby milk. It was about, he wanted things, and it was about material items. And I said, so what it is, your parents would buy you sneakers, but you wanted Jordans. He said, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
See, you wasn't satisfied with just getting sneakers.
Right.
You wanted the Jordans. So that's what made you rob. So it's not that you can't work and make money. You just can't work and make the kind of money you feel like you deserve.
Right.
So that's what make you sell the dope. It's not about, well, I can't work and earn a living.
I don't know, man. I think they sell the dope to look good.
Well, whatever the case may be, but
Yeah.
I just don't tell me you have to sell drugs.
But I hear it every day. I had to.
And that's fine, but I'm not gonna agree with it.
I had to.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna agree with it. And again, I worked for the prison.
Right.
I've been there, and I've heard guys, that big bad dude that was on the streets.
Yeah.
I've seen him in the cell block crying, missing his mother, missing his daughter, missing his wife, his son. I've seen it.
There's a guy on the edge right now. He's about ready. He's in his car right now, listening to this podcast, and he's about to go do something, good, bad, and different, that just might not turn out right if one hiccup happens. What are you telling him right now?
When you get in that cell block, you'll be by yourself, all by yourself. It's not worth it.
Do you practice tough love, or do you get to a point where you just wash your hands?
Well, I don't even like calling it tough love. I practice real life. Look, son, this is where it is. Yeah. I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. If it's good, I'm gonna tell you good. If it's bad, I'm gonna tell you bad. I'm gonna just give it to you straight. But if I feel like or get to a point that I know you're not listening, I'm gonna wash my hands, because again, I don't like wasting my time.
Right.
And if I feel like I'm at a point where I'm wasting my time, then that's it. And I don't apologize for that.
Are there any things that you look back on right now and say, I should have done that a little different, maybe with that individual?
No, because I think everything is a live and learn experience. So with life, we supposed to learn every day. So everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Okay, I got a question. This is for all the people who work at Soul. They have we want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
When you gonna let us sleep, man? We don't get no days off. We're always working.
I don't push soul people to work and not sleep.
What?
Soul people push soul people to, because see the atmosphere at Soul is, I'm not gonna let the next soul person outwork me.
Yeah.
So, and I try to lead by example.
Yeah.
If
I get mad when I see the 4 o'clock in the morning. You up, bro? Man, I was trying to sleep.
But nobody beat Felicia.
Yeah.
She's up before anybody.
Yeah, but that's because she's dealing with that. That's her thing.
See? And I've been trying to beat her getting up since we met.
You got a lot of. I want to talk about a good friend of ours, and I found out her to be a very, very lovable person, and that is Miss Kanai.
I don't know how lovable she is, but we go ahead.
Well, I say that only because of the fact that when I first met her, she was she kind of has a remnants of you within her. Because she doesn't, until you get to know her.
Yeah, she's tough.
Yeah, she's tough.
Yeah.
You know, but even after they get to know you, your toughness don't wear off, man. You still rough there. You still diamond coated.
No, Kana's tough. Like, it's time. She and I talk a lot, man.
We should have her on the podcast.
Yeah, we will. But it's times that she'll call me and she'll say, "Hey, I'm gonna be a girl today."
Okay.
and that'll set the tone for the conversation.
Okay.
But it's been great managing her because, again, you know, she works hard and she does a great job. She does a phenomenal job.
And she's just one of the many. Just one of the many. It's just that I've recently gotten to know more about her since with the Pandora situation, her own radio station.
Yeah.
You know, you once you see the accolades come up, you do your research and you do your due diligence, and you respect them. You respect the work.
Yeah.
You respect the hustle, and I respect her work. Now, the difference between you, in your opinion, man, the difference between, and we're gonna end the podcast on this one.
Oh.
The difference between work and hustle.
I don't even like that whole hustle thing because it has taken on such a negative connotation.
Right.
And this is really not work because it's our life. Like this is our life. This is what we do. This is life.
But you have retired from the railroad.
Okay.
You got 2 best-selling books out there. You do all the touring. You with NACA. You with Lone Star. You do the improv. Is that all work and none hustle?
It's life. It's just life. It's you know, when I don't have anything to do, I get bored. I don't like that. I like to wake up every day with a purpose, with something to do. Yeah, you know, my mentor, Mr. Hersey, I remember asking him one time if he was ever going to retire. And he said, do what? Like sit on the porch and just watch traffic? He said, don't you know that's how people die?
Especially when they worked all the time.
He said, why would I want to do that?
The people who always sat on the porch and watch traffic, they're good retiring doing that.
Yeah, but he said,
you can't.
Why would I want to do that? And the older I get, the more I understand exactly what he meant. And the less I want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I've had a good conversation with you, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
We do our best to enlighten and inform out here. Now, you can disagree. You can call us up anytime you want to. You can email. What can the email us at?
info@carloswallace.com.
info@carloswallace.com. Website. We already got that information coming to you. Just stick around. I'm just going to say it right after we get done talking. Do not forget to spread the word about this podcast. Do not forget to tell a friend, to send this, to share it, to like it, wherever you see it on, whatever platform you see it on, to share, because it can benefit somebody. It benefited you long enough to listen to this far. Don't you think it can benefit somebody who needs it just as much?
And thank you for all the feedback so far, man. It's been phenomenal.
Man, them really railroad folks went crazy.
Hey, I got military people overseas too, Japan and some from Germany. I appreciate those too. Appreciate it.
We had a wonderful time, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Or just stick around and just let it roll. You might want to just binge listen. They have that now. But life's not complicated. You are. Strong Opinions Podcast. Again, I'm Charles Andrews.
I'm Carlos Wallace.
All right. Peace.
Your opinion matters to us at the Strong Opinions Podcast. To join our email list, please visit carloswallace.com.